Welcome back, everybody. So today I'm going to do a full in-depth tour of my 4runner. I specifically bought and built this so that I could get out far out into the backcountry and go on adventures and camp and do wildlife photography and explore and just be out in nature. And also partially so I could stealth camp in the city when I've got to work and go and explore new towns and stuff like that. So I've been living in it full time for about a year. I've rebuilt it several times, changed a lot of things over the course, and I want to talk about what's worked and what hasn't. This is going to be a long video. I'm going to get in depth on everything and show you guys almost everything, except for a couple little areas where I don't want everybody to know what I'm packing and stuff. But anyway, use timestamps if you got to. Some of these parts I will probably make their own video so that people can search for them and find the information they need that way. But yeah, let's get into it. We'll start with the outside and then we'll work our way inside. I'll give you guys a quick look inside just so you have an idea of what's going on. So this is the main build. I've got my fridge set up, I've got storage, I've got a bed, I've got the molly rack set up. And we'll get into more of the inside in a few minutes. Let's start with the outside. Why do I not have a rooftop tent or an awning? I had a 270-degree awning, and it wasn't as useful as I thought it would be. They look really cool on Instagram, but you know, the sun's not always straight up ahead. Usually it's off to the side, so you don't get that much shade in the sun. And when it's raining, it's usually windy too, so the wind is knocking it sideways. And you can pull it out, but it's just a single flat surface. So I found a lot of times when it was raining, I was still getting wet because the wind, you know, would move the rain around. And when it's sunny, I had to keep moving around to stay in the shade. And it just wasn't very useful. And it was a lot of weight up top. It was kind of a pain to set up and tear down. When it got wet, you had to dry it out. And it took a long time to dry out. And it just kind of sucked. So I got rid of it. And now I've got a 15 by 15 AquaQuest tarp, which is way more adaptable. It provides a lot more area underneath to be out of the sun and out of the rain and the wind. And I can use it to make a tent if I want, which I don't know why I would, because I have an awesome canvas tent here. And I can also use it for a, I can set it over the top of this thing to block out the sun and keep it cooler in there. Or because this is a 10 by 10 tent and I have a 15 by 15 awning, I can set part of it down, like if the rain and the wind is blowing sideways, I can block that part from the rain. I can use it and create an awning outside. This has an awning that's rolled up right now because I can't keep the stakes in the ground and the sand, but I can create an awning with the tarp that way as well. And the reason why I went with a tent instead of a rooftop tent is because I'm doing this full time. This isn't just going out on the weekends every once in a while. I'm out here all the time. And to be able to have a place that is completely mosquito free, where I can stand up, I have room to stretch around and move around and do whatever I want during the day when the weather's bad. If there's mosquitoes out, I can be totally free of the mosquitoes. This is such a nicer place to be than cooped up in a rooftop tent. It's just so nice to be able to get out of the weather, get away from the bugs, everything else. And the other thing is this doesn't weigh nearly as much as a rooftop tent. And all that weight is in the very worst spot, up high. I take this thing off-roading a lot. I go on trails and stuff. And a lot of times I get in off-camber situations and having all that weight up high kind of sucks. Yeah, I've got some stuff mounted up here and I've got some weight up there, but it's not nearly as much as you know, a really good quality rooftop tent. So yeah, and the other thing is, if a bear shows up, or you know, some people, sketchy people pull up to camp, or I smell smoke and look outside and there's a wildfire and I want to just hop in the driver's seat and go, I can do that with this because I sleep inside. I don't sleep in the tent. Occasionally I might sleep in there if it's really hot or something, but yeah, with this setup I can just hop in the driver's seat and go. And also, like I said, I want to stealth camp in the city, and that's not really possible with a rooftop tent popped out. You're just announcing to everybody that you're sleeping up there. It just wouldn't work. So that's why I didn't go with the rooftop tent. Yeah, and why I got rid of the awning and got a tarp instead. Way more adaptable. So many uses for that tarp. So on the outside here, I've got 23-0 boxes on both sides. I keep my tent body and the stakes and the other stuff up in this one. That weighs about 30 pounds, so not too bad. The boxes themselves are plastics, they're pretty light. Overall, really happy with them. They're totally waterproof. You can lock them. This spot right here, bolt cutters could easily clip these, but I've got locks on every one. These are A-bus locks. I'll put a link in the description for these, and links in the description for just about everything I do. Somebody could come by and clip this. I wish they put a like a metal plate right here to make that a lot more difficult. I might add that myself at some point, but overall I'd say they're pretty secure, and they're just bolted on. This is a Cali raised deluxe roof rack, and this is all 80/20 up here, so it's got these little grooves, and you can buy these little plates that just fit right in there, and then you can just stick a bolt right through them right into there. So that's how these are mounted. These are holes cut in the bottom and drilled down in there, and they're hard mounted. They're not going anywhere. I've got my my WeBoost antenna up there. That thing has been awesome. That makes a big difference. Some people say they don't make a difference. I call BS on that, man. That thing makes a big difference in how much cell reception I have. There's a lot of places where I don't have enough cell reception to check my maps or check the weather or anything, but once I kick that thing on, I'm good to go. I've also got my my Starlink Mini up there. I don't have that hard mounted because I don't have anywhere to hard mount it to. I'm out of space, and it's kind of nice if I'm parked under trees or something. I can just stick that out and find a good spot to hook it up. I've got 200 watts of solar mounted up here. These are bolted down real well now. They're not going anywhere. This air gap right here does make a little wind noise, and it has definitely made a difference in my fuel mileage. I lost about 1 mile per gallon with this gap right here. So I need to make something that connects from here to fill this hole, because wind just kind of goes under there and creates a lot of resistance. So this is a Cali raised deluxe roof rack, and this thing folds down, so if I had a light bar under here, you know, it would cover that most of the time. Some places you can't have light bars that aren't covered. You know, sticks and bugs and stuff would eventually damage the light bar, so it's cool if they have that. And they also have these cutouts so you can mount lights inside, which would be really handy at camp to have lights that you could just flick on. If you hear a noise outside, or you're setting up camp, or you're just hanging out and you want some lights, to get some low wattage lights up here that are, you know, bright enough to light everything up, but not so bright that they blind you. And also just being, when you're out on like logging roads, to be able to see out the side, you know, if there's like an animal or something interesting outside, just flick them on and be able to see. So I'll add those eventually. Cali Raised has a kit specifically made for this where they have lights that fit in there. I just haven't done it yet, but super happy with this roof rack. I've had it for about 2 years now. Hasn't leaked. It's super adaptable. I've had a bunch of different configurations. Like I said, I had that awning mounted up there for a while. I had traction boards up there and a full-size shovel. For a while, I had a 400-watt solar panel, which was killer, but it took up, you know, almost a whole roof rack. And super adaptable and useful. It's got these holes here. You can install a handle. I just grab up in here. You know, there's a million places to grab onto. I don't really need the handles, but they would look cool. And you could mount other things to those holes as well. And it's the only rack I know of that has this back plate. And you can see I've got my my rear camera for my Wolfbox Tri-Pro back there. That thing is badass. And I've got the Cali Raised Molly ladder. This thing has been great. It's got cutouts specifically for Rotopacks, and you can just mount anything you want to it. It's got all these areas on the side where you can mount anything. This is a bag that I bought from Napa about, I don't know, 1.5 years ago. It's losing its black. It's turning into a tan bag, but that's fine with me. It was only like 30 bucks. Works great. I've got a 5-gallon bucket in here that I found, and I keep my propane tank in there. I use this side for garbage. If I go to a campsite that's really trashed, I'll fill up the back with garbage and dump it, and then put my propane tank back in later. And then I've got a shovel mounted on the back, which is really cool. I need to make an actual mount for my flag for the sand dunes, which would be really easy to attach to the side. I just haven't done it yet, so I just stick it in here and zip tie it, and it's good enough for the dunes. Yeah, this ladder, when I got it, this bracket was just a little bit too long, so it rubbed on this this part right here, And I got a hold of Cali Raised, and they got me in touch with their engineer, and he had me take some measurements, and he made me a new bracket and had it powder coated and everything and sent it out to me. And now I've got no problems, and I think that that is exceptional customer service. Cali Raised has good prices. I paid for all this stuff on my own. It's not sponsored or anything. I'm really happy with the stuff I've gotten from them. There's a couple things I forgot to mention in the video about the back, and one is that there's air vents behind the bumper back here, and they let in an ungodly amount of dust, the factory ones. So whenever I would drive on a dirt road or in a dusty area, just everything inside would get covered in dust. SRQ Fabrications, and now there's a couple other companies making them as well, I think, makes filters that go in there. You have to remove the back bumper and install them, but there are filters that go in there, and they do an incredible job of keeping the inside clean on dirt roads. That was one of my best mods by far. That was so nice to change. They also make, if you roll down the back window, they make an insert that goes in here that has a million different holes in it for ventilation, and they have screens in there, and I ordered one. I haven't gotten it yet, but I just ordered it. So that is going to be really nice to add ventilation inside, hopefully without mosquitoes being able to get through. I don't know how big the screen is that comes with them. It looks like it should help with mosquitoes. So I'll let you guys know about that when I get it. The other thing with this ladder is I've got this big space right here. I want to add I've got a diesel heater that I want to mount right here, and then I can just run the hose and build another insert and run the hose straight in to dump the heat inside the cab in the winter when I'm camping. All this weight that I've added to the back meant that I had to replace the struts. These guys, the factory ones, mine were wearing out anyway, but they're just not strong enough to support all this weight, so I had to buy new ones. They come in different strengths. The ones I bought aren't quite strong enough, so when my propane tank is full, it doesn't hold the full weight, especially when it's cold out. These work better when it's warm. And there was one time where I didn't take that tank out first because I was being kind of lazy, and this thing collapsed and fell down on me and hit me in the back and kind of sandwiched me in here, and it could have like really hurt me, you know, getting hit in the back like that. So I got lucky, and yeah. Future mods I will be doing is next time I need tires is I will be getting tires that are the same width but 2 inches taller, so I'll gain an inch in ground clearance and just have a little bit more ground clearance, and it'll actually correct my speedometer, and I shouldn't miss out on too much fuel mileage. I've got Bilstein 5100 shocks on here, which made a huge difference in the handling of this vehicle and gave me a little bit of a lift, a little more ground clearance. Now my CV axles are perfectly parallel. You know, normally when I'm on flat ground, they're perfectly parallel. So that puts them in the best position for wear and gives me the most up and down articulation. So I've got the perfect amount of lift here, and those pizza cutter tires I want to get should fit just fine without rubbing. The factory tires did rub a little bit right here, so I cut that part out, and I might have to cut out a little bit more with taller tires, but that should be no big deal. In the future, I will be getting rock sliders, real off-road rock sliders, not like side steps or anything, and full steel skid plates all the way under the bottom. I have beat the living hell out of these factory skid plates. I've bent them back so many times, and they're about ready to give up. And I really need to have like proper skid plates under this thing for the kind of wheeling I do. And I want to get a steel bumper for the front. Cali Raised makes one that has a loop that comes up over here, and that will be helpful if I hit a deer. And I can also mount a winch, which would be really, really helpful in a lot of the places I go. I'm a little nervous not having a winch, but haven't been stuck yet, except for one time, and crawl control got me out, thank God. I got stuck on the beach as the tide was coming in, like really fast, and I didn't air down before I drove down on the beach because I was being lazy, and the crawl control got me right out, no problem. It was amazing. Here's the front camera for my Wolfbox Tri-Pro. This helps to see what's going on in the front when I'm off-road, because I'm actually always by myself, and I don't have a spotter, so being able to see what's going on in front of me has been super, super helpful. I got the TRD Pro Grill and the Raptor lights. That's just for looks. I guess the Raptor lights help with oncoming traffic, being able to see you on back roads and bad weather, but it's mostly just for looks, and it does look cool. Another thing I've done for the outside is all of my bulbs, every bulb in this thing is lace fit. And they, night and day, like literally, so much brighter. The factory bulbs in this thing were not adequate at all. So the lace fits just made a huge difference. And the fog lights are switchbacks, so they can be clear and really bright and really fill out the low beams on back roads at night, or you can flip the switch and turn them into amber, which is really good in fog and rain and dust and low visibility situations. So that's been fantastic. The lace fits are definitely one of my top upgrades. The only other things I've done to the outside is I tinted the windows. I wish I would have done more research and found a brand of tint that has like exceptional heat rejection. This ceramic tint doesn't have the best. I've got limo tint on all the back windows. That's 5%. And it's on top of the factory tint, so you can't see inside at all. And then these front ones, I think they're 12 or 13, which is well below the legal limit, but cops in Oregon don't care, and out of state, I've got an out-of-state plate, so I'll probably be fine. It's worth it to have the privacy. You can't see in. When I have the front windshield cover in, you can't see in. They're dark, and it's nice at night. There's been a couple times driving at night when it's really dark out where I have to roll the window out or down to see. If I'm parallel parking at night in a dark area, I roll the window down. But the 4runner, every window has the auto switch where you just hard press it and the window goes all the way down. So it hasn't been an issue at all. And the ceramic tint helps a lot with the heat in the summer, a lot. So that's been really good. This tint I got isn't the best, but it's much better than stock. So that's the outside. Super happy. I'd love to have bigger tires. I'd love to have better protection. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention, under the hood. When I'm out camping, I leave the hood open so I don't get rodents in here. Toyota used soy-based wiring coating, which is kind of silly. I guess it's eco-friendly or whatever, but rodents love to chew on it. And there is normally a plastic cover that goes over the top right here. And this area down in here stays nice and toasty at night. And it is the perfect dark, warm little area for rodents to crawl up in and chew up on your wiring harness. They actually chewed up my, my fuel injector wiring harness one time. And I had to replace a bunch of them and pull all this stuff off. And so I got rid of the stupid cover. And back there, that little black thing, that creates little clicks that you can't hear when you're inside, but you can out here sometimes. And it has a bunch of strobe lights on it, so it flashes lights down in this area. And if I leave the hood open during the day, there's plenty of light. So I haven't had a single issue with rodents since then. I've also got some essential oil spray. It's got like eucalyptus oil and some other stuff in it that helps with that. But other than that, no modifications under the hood. I keep everything factory, Toyota parts. Keep it clean, keep all my fluids clean, take really good care of it, and it's got 170,000 miles on it now, runs like it's brand new, and I don't expect to have any problems for a long time. That's one of the reasons I went with the 4runner. It's really nice to drive on the road, it's really capable off-road, it's crazy reliable, it's low maintenance, and I don't have to worry about it. So I want to show you guys my off-road kit. I'm not going to show you my whole first aid kit. I've got a full trauma kit and a bunch of stop bleed stuff, a tourniquet. You should have all that stuff if you're going to be out in the middle of nowhere. You should be able to, you know, if you accidentally cut your arm off, be able to take care of that because there's nobody coming to help you. You're on your own. But besides that, let's get into the off-road specific stuff. So number one is having a shovel, even a little one like this. And I love the handle on this. I don't get stuck because I have a 4runner, but if I did, you know, having this handle is super nice. And I had a full-size shovel for a while, but I mostly used this for digging cat holes out in the forest. And that smaller one was way more handy for that. So yeah, let's crawl up top here and show you what else I got going on. So I have this kinetic rope. Oh, this is a soft shackle, but I have this kinetic rope. This is a 20-footer, and this has a little bit of flex to it. So if someone's like sucked into the mud a little bit, it can kind of yank them out. And it's also easier on both vehicles to use this versus like just a tow strap. And I've got two soft shackles to go with it. This is All Top brand. I got this on Amazon for pretty cheap. I rarely use it. I've only used it once. I pulled a lady out of the sand on the beach one time. That's the only time I've used it. But if I need it, it's here. So that is like super important to have if you're going off-road, is a way for another vehicle to pull you out. And the other thing I have is whenever I go on like real trails or in the sand, except for this time because I was just coming up to this campsite, I air down. And I usually air down to about 20. I think I have my things set to 18 now because I knew I was coming out to the sand. So to air down, I used to just use my pocket knife and press down on the valve on each tire until I got down to where I wanted, and it took forever. So I rarely aired down because it just took so long. It took forever. So I bought a set of these guys. I got 4 of them. And what you do is you air down to the pressure you want them set at, and then you twist these until they just start to let out some air, and then you lock them with this little lock ring right here. And then all you got to do to air down, you pull off your valve stem cap, screw these on real quick, and it automatically airs down to whatever PSI you set. And it takes maybe 5, maybe 10 minutes at the most to get all 4 tires aired down to where you want, and that saves a ton of time, and it makes it so much easier. And I would not want to be without these. There's other things you can do. You can get these setups with all these hoses that equalize all the tires to the same pressure, and then you can fill up 2 or 4 at the same time. Those are cool, but they're bulky. I got 4 of these, and they hardly take up any space. I also have a little set with a bunch of new valves in there. I've got the valve stem tool. I've got a bunch of O-rings, a bunch of valve stem caps. These are kind of backups. I bought like a 40 pack of stainless steel ones, which yeah, I lose them sometimes, so I have to replace them. So those are the ones I actually use, but I've got spares in here in case I need them. I've got a air pressure gauge, which you definitely need if you're airing back up and maintaining your tire pressure. And then for a compressor, I have this Bi-Air 300P, and this thing's really cool. It's got alligator clips that you just connect to your battery, and I turn my DC to DC charger off and run my battery while this is running because it uses a bit of power, and that has no issue. It takes about 5 minutes per tire to air back up, and I just do them one by one. I might get one of those hose kits someday, but I don't know. Those are finicky and bulky, and I don't really want to deal with it. And then the only other thing I have in this kit is a pair of pliers for my valve stem caps, because I like to get them hand tight and then a quarter turn with this. That way they don't come off usually. And then this comes with a hose with a gauge, which is not accurate. I have to air this up to 43, and once this is at 43 with the motor off, then I'm at 36, which is my ideal speed. So we got tire deflation, tire inflation, we've got a tow rope, we've got the shovel. Now to attach that tow rope on the back, I bought this insert, and I can either put one of those soft shackles through, or I have a hard D-ring that I can put in there for my tow rope up there, which is really handy. On the front of the 4runner, there are no proper recovery points. Everything's plastic. It's got these little hooks down here, which these are actually for when the thing is tied down to a truck or a ship in shipment, and this thing that it's attached to is not crazy strong. So if you yank on those hooks, there's a chance that you break one of the hooks off, or you bend that front. I guess this is a cross member. I don't know what you call this part. You might bend this part, and that is that's no bueno. So ideally I would buy some proper recovery points which bolt up here and really strengthen this area and give you something really strong to grab onto. But I plan on getting a bumper in the future that'll let me have a winch, so I'm just skipping it. And I've only been stuck once, and it was really minor, and crawl control got me right out, so I'm honestly not that worried about it. I don't go too crazy with this thing. I mean, I hit some rad trails, and I was out in the dunes driving all day today, and no issues. So I don't know. I guess I'm running on a little bit of luck there, but that's my whole off-road kit. I'm happy with it. It's all budget stuff off Amazon. Yeah, it's all budget stuff on Amazon that I got for cheap. All this stuff is probably, well, other than the air compressor, I think that was a little more, but everything else was, I think, was under $100 probably. So yeah, pretty rad. So I'm in camp configuration right now. So my kayak is in the tent is set up, and it's kind of a mess in here. But I want to show you guys what it's really like actually living out of this thing. So I'm just going to leave it kind of a mess. The main box here, this is 1/2-inch plywood. This is really good quality plywood. There is, you know, obviously holes cut out right here, and it passes through all the way to the other side. So there's no center divider. There is a divider about, where is it? About right here that goes through to section off the back areas. And there's another mid divider right here that goes all the way through. And I originally I cut out the wood for drawers in here, and I had the slides and everything. But as I was starting to put it together, I realized that those slides and those drawers were really heavy, and they took up space that I could be using for storage. And this is a small vehicle, so I don't have that much space. So I decided to just skip them. And, you know, originally I had both these areas were storage, and the fridge was in the passenger seat. And then I moved the fridge up top, so it would be sitting right here, and I had a slide that came out, and I had storage under here and storage under here. You know, I found it just as easy if I need something out of the back. The stuff I use all the time, I keep in the back. And then if I need to get back there, I can just grab my stuff and throw it up here and reach back there and grab everything. It's not a big deal, and I saved all that weight and all that space, so I'm happy with that decision. I've obviously got my mattress on this side. Hey guys, I'm editing the video now. I thought it'd be important to tell you that the mattress is on the passenger side for 2 reasons. One, it's a lot easier to get into the driver's seat from bed, and vice versa when it's on the passenger side. And 2, if you're parked in the city and stealth camping, if you're parked on the side of the road and someone rear ends you, it's way more likely that they're going to hit you on the left side. So it just feels safer. You don't have cars blasting right next to you. You've got a big crumple zone in between you, so it just feels safer. So thought you should know that. This is a 6-inch foam mattress from Amazon. It's got a 1.5-inch memory foam topper built in. It's great other than in the summer. It gets kind of hot. Memory foam gets hot in the summer. And I'm a hot sleeper anyway, so I'd like to find some kind of pad and get better sheets. These are just polyester sheets, so they get hot as well. I need to find some kind of pad to go over the top, and a better material for my sheets for the summer. And then I've just got 2 wool blankets that I got on Amazon. These have been fantastic. They breathe really well, and they stay warm, and if they get wet, they'll still keep you warm. And then in the winter, I've got, and it's kind of shoved back there, an Ignic 12-volt heated blanket, which does a fantastic job of both keeping in the heat and creating heat. It's so nice to turn that thing on like a half an hour before you get into bed, and the bed's nice and warm and cozy. It's so nice. So super happy with that. There is on this side another piece of wood that goes over the top so that the mattress has support, but this is basically just a big rectangle. And then way in the back there, you can't see, but there are bolts. I took out the back seats, and the bolts go through, and they have big fat fender washers, and they bolt this thing down. And then I'll show you on the other side, there's legs. I painted the bottom white so I could see a little bit better. If I have a flashlight up there, it kind of reflects off the white surface, and I can see everything better. All the very end back there, you can see there's a board that goes this way across the whole way. So like I said, the fridge setup was originally in the passenger seat. I did not like that. I like having that passenger seat to set things and to sit in. If I've got to edit a video, it's a lot more comfortable to sit in the passenger seat. And I can actually take a passenger with me, which is cool. So I moved the fridge in the back. I had that slide. It jiggled a little bit and squeaked and made noise on rough roads, and it kind of drove me crazy. And it was really heavy, and I couldn't open the fridge inside because it hit this this shelf, and you had to use 2 hands to open it. And a lot of times, you know, I'm cooking, I want to grab something out of the fridge real quick, I've got something in my hand. It was just kind of a hassle. And then when it was all the way out, which was the only way to access you know, the inside of the fridge, it hit this, so I couldn't open it all the way, and it was a pain. So I cut a hole and lost my storage space here. I cut a hole and mounted it with these L brackets on rubber, and then the bottom is just on the factory carpet, which is now really hard to clean. It's really hard to get my vacuum back in there, but now I can open it from the inside. And like I said, usually the kayak's right here, so it's kind of a pain, but it is possible to do from the inside. And this door opens both ways. This is an Iceco VL35 Pro S. I've had this running and in use for like 2 years now, and I love this fridge. It is so cool. If you grab both handles, you can pull the whole lid off all the way, which makes it really easy to clean out. and access stuff. It's really cool. I love this, and it looks cool too. It matches the vibe. It's got like this tactical look. It's really cool. Works great. It's got a couple USB outs. You can hook up the cigarette plug lighter on both ends. It's got a plug on this side and one on the other side, and it's got a single AC on this side if I want to plug in the shore power or something. So that's really cool. It's quiet, it's reliable, it's not it doesn't vibrate too loud, it doesn't create too much heat. Another issue I had when it was mounted on the slide is that slide for some reason amplified the vibration and the noise, so I could feel it vibrating when it kicked on, which, you know, normally it doesn't. So that also drove me crazy, which is another reason I recessed it down here. I don't feel the vibration. I can barely feel it and barely hear it when it's running. It's really nice. So I've got a bunch of storage stuff back here. Yeah, I keep my bag back here. Normally my table fits in this way, and I keep my front insulating window insulators back here so they're out of the way. This is my spray. It's got peppermint and eucalyptus oil. That's good for rodents. I've got my sun hat here for kayaking. I've got a pair of coveralls. I've got a pad if I want to sit down somewhere and I don't have my chair for whatever reason. I can use this for that. If I need to kneel down and do something, I can use that for my knees. It's really nice. First aid kits up here. These are easily detachable. You can grab, you know, if there's an incident, I can grab the bag and run out and go. These MOLLE panels are from Amazon. These are like knockoff Ragus or Ragos or whatever they're called. They're heavy, but it's really nice to be able to mount stuff to them. And this shelf is super nice. And up here, I've got these black Amazon bags, which have mesh on the top. I keep all my clothes in there. That keeps everything separate and organized, and it looks nice. And if I take out this pad, my back window rolls down, so I don't have to worry about stuff, you know, clothes flying out or anything. I've got some magnets that I stick on here. The rack is steel, so I can stick magnets to it and hang up socks to dry or a towel or whatever. But that's pretty much the back. Under the mattress, I have this guy. This is for marine mattresses. If you just stick a foam mattress on a piece of painted plywood, it's going to mold. Eventually, it's going to happen. So having a way to vent the mattress is super important. So I did that, and that has been really helpful. I have these window coverings. They're pre-cut. So the window coverings are made by WeatherTech, and I've got them for every window, and one side is black. They were shiny from the factory. I sprayed them with Plasti Dip so that when cars are coming up from the side, it's not super obvious that there's window coverings in. It just looks like really dark windows. And the other side is shiny, which blocks out the sun really well. So these are fantastic, and I've got them for every window, including the windshield. So yeah, so the inside, so you can see the box, you know, comes up to about here. And under here, I've got 2x4s holding up the front. I've got some plastic. You won't be able to see them. I don't want to take everything out, but you can see there's a PVC pipe back there. Let's see if I can get a spot on it. There we go. And that supports the middle. Before I put those in, the platform was starting to kind of banana on me and get misshapen. So I put those in to keep it nice and flat and straight, because I don't want to sleep on a banana. I want to sleep on a flat surface. So this area here is cut out, and it passes all the way through. And I've got my induction cooktop. I've got my cast iron griddle, or skillet is the right word. And I've got my collapsible sink. This is my full kitchen setup. We'll get into that. This is a foldable 200 watt solar panel. So I've got a total of 400 watts of solar. If I'm camped out, I can throw that over the windshield, and that'll power my power station, and the panels up there are mounted to my auxiliary battery. We'll get into the whole power system in a minute. I've got an extension cord down here. I've got an umbrella that I use for my camera because I'm a real Oregonian and I don't need no umbrella. Right here, this is the bag for my ground sheet for my tent, and it lives right here. It fits perfectly. I've got a little cooling towel. If it gets hot, I can get this wet, throw that over my neck. That helps keep me cool. I keep some tissues here. This box kind of floats around. It would be really smart for me to figure out a way to hard mount this in case I get in a rollover or something. This won't become a weapon that takes me out. But for now, it's just floating around. And under here, there is a locking hidden box. I won't show you what's in there. But yeah, it locks. This is a HEPA filter. And I have allergies, so that helps a lot. I really need this Down here, I keep, these are my spray bottles. This is 50-50 vinegar and water plus a drop or two of dish soap. That makes doing dishes and conserving water really easy. And then I've got another one which is straight water, and then I've got some vinegar, and I keep baby wipes down there for cleaning up. And this is my water container. This is a 5-gallon jerry can. It's got a built-in water filter, and it'll purify water, so it'll take out anything you don't want to be consuming. And it's got a pump back here. You can pressurize it, and then you just press this down and water shoots out, or you can twist it and it'll stay shooting out. So that's pretty handy. Down here I've got some Dr. Bronner's soap that I use for just about everything. I've got some dish soap, hand sanitizer, and that's pretty much this side. I keep this wool blanket on here, just one, because it looks nice, 2, things don't slide around as much, and 3, if I just need to grab a quick blanket, I'm just a little chilly at camp, I can just grab it and go, and I don't have to get my bedding blankets wet. I've got a fan up here. This is chargeable by USB C or A, and it's got several different settings, and I can move it around. It just clips on. And I take this thing out and put it in the tent sometimes. This string light, they reel up, so you can reel up the string light, and then it's got a bunch of different settings, and it's got magnets on the back so you can hang it. I've got another one that I keep in the tent, or this one I keep in the 4runner, and that is really nice to have. You can see I've got some of my clothes just kind of wedged up there. Usually I have them in the things, but right now I don't. Yeah, got my laptop charging, got my bathroom bag, which fits in this box, but I never go through the trouble because the kayak kind of overhangs to right here. So that is that for that side. And here on this side, this container is dry food. On the back side of that is another container exactly like it. That is basically my junk drawer. I keep all kinds of stuff in there. I've got my Blue Eddy power station down here. Yeah, that gets charged. We'll get into the power setup in a minute. On the other side is a 100 amp hour lithium battery. I've got a tourniquet down there. I've got a, what is that radio called? It's not a CB. It's not a UHF. It's the other one. It's what all the overlanders use to talk to each other when they're out. And down here, I've got a little vacuum. I've got some winter clothes. I've got a fire extinguisher ready to go. Another extension cable. This is my laundry bag. I keep all my dirty laundry in here. I've got an extra bag back there and just a bunch of random stuff. I got some face masks if I go on a hike. I always forget they're back here, but that'll help me with the allergies as well. And then I've just got some, extra dish soap and olive oil stored on this side. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this side. Let's check out the front. So I've got WeatherTech floor mats in the front. Those are really nice. When they get muddy or dirty, you just pull them out, hose them off, you're good to go. I keep my garbage down here. This is kind of a utilitarian space. The passenger seat, usually it's got stuff on it. My jacket, I've got my wildlife lens. I've been doing Uber Eats for work, so I keep those bags up here. And then I've just got snacks and a couple books and some paperwork and stuff that I need to organize up here, and a towel to cover everything. If I leave something expensive up here or anything, I cover it up with the black towel so that when you look in the window, you can't see that there's anything in here. It's just always covered up. And then these bags, it just when you look in the windows, it just looks black. You can't tell what you're looking at. Yeah, got this nice little carbon fiber piece just for looks. That part under it got worn out from the fridge being there, rubbing on it, and the carbon fiber just looks nicer. And then the front, everything else is stock. Got the Wolfbox Tri-Pro up here. Here's all my controls for my off-roadie, the crawl control and the rear locker, A-track, turn traction control off. It's got all the, it's got the mirrors, it's got all the lace fit lights in here, nice and bright. And yeah, I got my electronic stuff back there, DC to DC charger, so solar controller. I've got a 12-volt cigarette plug right here. This is my fridge. If I hear a noise at night and I need silence, I can just unplug that real quick. This is the charger for my power station. A couple other things I forgot to say in the video. When I'm in the city, even though you can't see in these windows, if you get up like on the window and go like this, you can see in a little bit. So I put this towel up here, and it just gives me the peace of mind that nobody can see me no matter what. So if a cop does come knocking when I'm in the city, they can't, there's no way they can see me. There's no way they can prove that I'm in there, which unfortunately it's illegal to sleep in your car in some places now. And you get hassled, and it's not fun, and I'd rather just ignore them and have them move on and make it seem like nobody's in there. Hopefully they'll just leave me alone. So I have this black towel that goes over, and also when I'm in the city, you know, if I have my laptop out and a bunch of stuff and I go to park to go to a store or something, I don't want people seeing what I have in here. So I just leave this black towel up, and you can't tell. And even if you look in the windshield, it just looks like blackness. So I don't even have to put my windshield cover in most of the time anymore. It just looks black in there. You can't tell anything. And the other thing I forgot to tell you guys about is these spotter mirrors. These are amazing. These add this awesome little convex mirror down here, and they still work great with the heat. And these are so handy for seeing blind spots and seeing everything that's going on behind you. And the passenger one for parallel parking is like, I couldn't parallel park without it. Yeah, I'd have to adjust my mirror every single time. And now I don't. It's awesome. I love these things. If you have a 4runner, get these. Absolutely get these. I got them from 4runner Lifestyles. They rule. Okay, my power setup. So I've got 200 watts up here of, these are monocrystalline. These are like 16 bus bar. These are really good in partial shade and really good panels. Got them really cheap on Amazon. And those come down this KC Highlights wire hider. I've got the wires for those and for my Wii Boost coming down here. I want to get another one for the other side because this thing's kind of packed. I've got too many wires in it now. And this has been amazing. When I use my windshield wipers, before I got this, the water would come down the driver's side window, and it drove me crazy because like I couldn't wash my windshield without my driver's side window getting totally covered in crap. And then I couldn't see out the sides, and it drove me nuts. But with this thing, that doesn't happen anymore, so I love it. So those wires come down into the hood, connect to the battery, and then run through under, and then back here, which I guess you can't see it all. I'll have to take a bunch of stuff apart so you can really see it. But I've got a Victron 50 amp DC to DC charger, which I leave on 20 amps so I don't wear out my alternator. And I've got a Victron solar controller. They have Bluetooth apps so I can see everything that's going on with my battery. And down there is a Lifetime 100 amp hour heated lithium battery, and it's heated so that it can charge when it's below freezing. And yeah, and then from that 100 amp hour battery, I use the cigarette plug to charge my power station, which is another 100 amp hours. So I have 200 amp hours of power, and the power station has an inverter and all the DC outs to charge flashlights and cameras and everything else. And I can take the power station out and I can put it in the tent, and I can use that foldable solar panel and set that up, and then I can have, the vehicle has its own power, and then I have power in the tent. Or I can use all the power and have it in the 4runner. When I got that Bluetti, I had it for about a year, and the DC in charger for the cigarette plug or for solar panels broke. And I had to go 3 weeks without it while it was getting repaired, and I had no power for 3 weeks at all. So that's why I set up the DIY system, and now I have the best of both worlds. And if something happens to the Bluetti again, then I can just get a cheap inverter, and boom, I've got everything I need as far as power goes. So I've got the best of both worlds. I can get an inverter locally. I can get one at Walmart. So that is the best of both worlds, and it's been working flawlessly. I love it. The 200 watts of solar hard mounted on the roof keeps me topped off all the time. Sometimes, you know, in Oregon it gets rainy, it gets cloudy. We don't get great sun all the time, so having that DC to DC charger, which I can crank up to 50 amps if I really need to, has been really helpful, and I stay topped off all the time. I don't have to worry about power at all. If I had that 400 watts of solar on the roof like I used to, I really wouldn't have to worry about it. But yeah, I can go out 3 or 4 days at a time without having much sun, and I'm fine. I don't even need to pull out the portable panel very often. If I take the Bluetti and put it in the tent, then it is really helpful to have that hooked up, because then it's always, you know, at least during the day, it's always got some power coming in. Okay, let's get into the kitchen portion setup. So I mainly cook with my Jetboil Minimo. It's got a French press kit here, so I use it to make coffee, and this is my main thing that I cook with. I usually just cook up, you know, canned food and dehydrated food and stuff like that. So that's basically it. But I also have this new wave induction cooktop, which I can use with my cast iron skillet, and I cook on that a lot too. It does use quite a bit of power, so I've got to be somewhere where I have you know, plenty of sun coming in, or I can plug in, or it's a quick meal. I've tried cooking like bulk meals with this, like big, like, you know, hash brown skillets with bacon and everything else, and it just takes too long and it uses a lot of power. So I really don't use it that much, but I have it, and that is really nice. And another option I have for cooking is I have this Ignic fire can, and it's got the moon rocks in it right now, which is really great when there's fire bans or you're out of firewood or you can't have a fire for whatever reason. That keeps you warm, and it's a nice to have fire, even though it's not like a real campfire or whatever. But it's also got a grill insert, so I can use this as a grill to grill up hot dogs, grill whatever I want. It's fairly efficient with the propane, so that works great. I had a Jetboil Genesis 2, which is a 2-burner propane cooktop. Way better than one of the big Coleman's or anything like that. Very easy to fine-tune, but I just didn't use it a lot, and it took up a lot of space. And splitting the propane between that and the fire can, I was just using up too much propane, so I got rid of that. Got the induction and the Jetboil Genesis, or the Jetboil Minimo, and that's been great for me. I could also cook with the cast iron on coals from a fire. Haven't done it, but I could. So technically I have 4 different ways to cook, which is good to have options, because I don't always have enough power for the induction, and it's often quicker to just fire up the Jetboil Minimo. It's just such a convenient, quick little thing, and it's enough for my needs. I've also got a little skillet for the Minimo. It's got an attachment where you don't have to use the built-in thing. So this little skillet, I think it's a little 8-inch or something. You know, I cook up a little bit of bacon or some eggs, or make a grilled cheese or whatever I want with that, and that works great. And I've got another way to cook. I've got the Joule, what do they call this? The kettle pot. This is basically an electric jet boil. And this uses about 500 watts of power. It's not as fast to heat up as the gas jet boil, but if I know I have plenty of power and all I'm doing is boiling some water, you know, if I'm camping out in the desert or something and there's plenty of sun, this is great because I don't have to use gas. So this works great. Not as fast as a jet boil, but I'm also not using gas, so it saves money in the long run. So that's awesome. So this is my Kelty, what do they call this? Camp Galley Deluxe organizer. So I've got all my silverware in here. I've got like backpacking spoons and stuff. I've got a knife, temperature gun in here. I keep all my spices in here. I've got a towel, can opener, another pot that I can use. I can use this on the induction. I can use that on the fire can. I can use that on the jet boil if I want. I don't know why I would, because it's got its own. And then I use these for sponges, these Lunatech dishcloths. Got these from REI. These dry out really fast, so they don't mold like a normal sponge. And you can use these way more times than a normal sponge. I've got some extra gas in here. I've got a bowl. I've got a plate. I've got a little cutting board. I've got another little sponge. I got a spatula. I got tongs. So everything I need in here to cook with, and it zips up, which makes it somewhat smell proof. So all my smelly spices and stuff, you know, go in here, and that gets zipped up, and then that's in the 4runner. So I don't have to worry about bears so much. You know, yesterday there were bear prints that went from right there. It went all the way around the lake, and then they stopped about right there. And then I found a trail right back there, and guess what? I found more bear prints. So that bear walked right through my camp. So, you know, being able to keep my smelly stuff contained is good. And this, I mean, a bear can smell through this, no problem, but it helps, I'm sure. So there's that. Yeah, make of that what you will. So yeah, that's my setup. And then this table is just a cheap Walmart table. I've been using these for a long time. It happens to fit perfectly in the 4runner. It's not the most stable, it's not the biggest, but it folds up really small and it fits really well in there. It's really easy to set up, and I'd love to have something bigger, especially now that I have the tent. To be able to set up a big table in there would be really cool, but it works and it's what I've got. So that is that. that is my camping setup. When I'm in bear country, when I've got fresh bear prints from probably the same day I arrived, which was yesterday, I don't cook in the tent because this canvas kind of holds the smell, and I don't want to be sitting in there at 11 o'clock at night and have an unplanned visitor. So that's that. For my chair, I've got this REI chair. This is really comfortable. It folds up really small and fits really well in the 4runner, and it's super comfy. This thing is ridiculously comfortable. I had another chair that was like the metal frame type before, which was also really nice and comfortable, but it took up too much space. So I ditched it and got this one. This one's smaller, more compact. I can also throw this in the kayak if I'm going out and take lunch with me and have a little picnic on the lake or whatever, the river. So that is pretty much that. I don't think there's much else I can say about this. Let me know if you have any questions. I'd be happy to do my best to answer them for you. Thanks for watching.